Portugal, there's a YouTube show full of fun facts you need to know.
Hola, bon dia, alegria. Munson here with the Good Morning Portugal show, the live stream, the podcast, and of course the Portugal Club, where we will go as we celebrate 50 plus life here in Portugal to the Portugal Club for the Portuguese citizenship test question 89 this morning. 89. What a great year that was. My daughter, eldest Ruby, was born on this day, 6th of January 1989. So happy birthday to you, Rubes. Amazing. Have a great day. Enjoy your eggs Benedict. So, yes, good morning to you. How are you doing this morning? I'm just going to pop this on the screen for a moment as I say good morning to you and spark up the banner, see how you're doing. And we do have a Venezuelan voice, as it were, this morning. Juan Pablo Sans is joining us from Spain in about 15 minutes. So, yes, nothing about us without us. If we're going to be talking about Venezuela, let's at least talk to some Venezuelan people about their situation and what they think is going on in their country at the moment and how it is they got to be here in Europe. Tomorrow, we'll be talking to Roxy about her experience. She is living in Portugal and is delighted to be chatting with us tomorrow morning. So some Venezuelan voices. Let me know how you get on with the checklist to see if you deserve to be here celebrating 50 plus life here in Portugal. If you are under 50, we do need a note from your parents saying that it's okay for you to be here. Send that to 913-590-303. And I must apologize yesterday, Jackie. I don't think I played your video that you carefully, took in the first place, captured, and then sent to me. Let's just take that list off the screen for a moment, which verifies you as at least 50 plus. You rented a video from Blockbuster 13, for example, and we may have looked through this list before now, and that's another feature of aging, isn't it? Is that instead of the hive mind, I think we're going to have to help each other with the hive memory when it comes to, have we done this before? Have we been here before? Have I taken my meds? Thankfully, touch wood, I don't. But for those who do, how do you remember that? And where am I? Questions like that. We can help each other with the hive memory. Let's just take that off the screen for a moment and look at a very chilly UK. I don't think I did play this yesterday, did I, Jackie? If I didn't, forgive me. If I did play it, well, here it is again.
Dear Portugal from a really cold Grand Union Canal. That is proper frozen. Ooh, with snow on it. Get in. Have a good one.
I mean, even if you did want to go somewhere, you couldn't. It's iced over and with a smattering of icing sugar type snow there on the canals of the UK, or that particular one there. Thanks, Jackie, for that. Did I hear the Portuguese's catchphrase there as well? Todo, what does he say? To the bang, to the bang, to the bang. Nice to see you. And if you don't, there's ignorant. Portuguese's prolific output. We look forward to seeing him again soon. When's he on? Let's have a look at the shape of the week to come this week. Today, of course, yes, and tomorrow we're looking or chatting with people from Venezuela. Hopefully, we'll have some mention of going off grid tomorrow. We kicked that off, didn't we, with our wonderful solar guide, alternative solar guide. So maybe we can speak to one of our off-grid correspondents tomorrow about that project and the importance of having alternative power. Richard Allen, I think he's back from his world travels, so we'll be looking at live music that's going on this year. Very exciting program of live music from various venues around the country. Have a chat with Richard Allen on Thursday with the Portugal playlist, our podcast that celebrates live music here in Portugal, local bands, international bands coming to Portugal, more of, it would appear. And Philomena Friday, yay! So the Portuguese, when's he on again? He joins us on, Mr. Tony will be here next Thursday to say hi to the Portugang as they are expressed here. The Portugang Gump Hybrid as celebrated here every weekday morning between 8 and 9. How are you doing this morning? Good morning to, I'm going to work backwards. Good morning to you, Mike, who's just arrived. Let's put your comments on the screen as well, shall we? San Martino de Porto, broadcasting to you from the top of the world this morning. You can see the Bay of San Martino de Porto screen right. That boat looks massive, doesn't it? But that's the high point. That's top of the world when it comes to San Martino de Porto. And I think that's a fair representation of the colour of the sky at the moment. Proper stuck on the canal then. A coal boat might not get through. You have a coal boat? Wow, that sounds so delightfully old-fashioned. And there might be a British character on there. All right, missus, do you want your coal? A little 8-year-old who should be at school selling your coal boat to boat. Bon dia, we have Kev and Becky with us today in Central from Hannah's. No way. How are you doing, Kev and Becky? My goodness. Becky had a little bit of a connection with Devon Radio, as I recall, Becky. And how are you doing, Kev? Oh, the joy, the happy memories working together. Hannah's at Sealhane. There were some, Kev, come on, be fair. Sealhane Days popped in on the drive back from Spain to the UK. They say hi. Morning to you, Kevin Becky. Lovely to have you here in Portugal. Rub that like button. Please lean forward and rub the like button. That reminds me to talk about sexy wine as well. Turns out it wasn't, I mean, the reviews to talk about be damned by faint praise. It had a lot to live up to. The wine that went by the name of Sexy. I discovered it is made by that heartthrob winemaker Antonio Massanita. This was yesterday's choice for the first wine club of 2026. And I don't think it lived up to people's expectations. Linda was not impressed. She had a bit of a cold, so it made some of the top notes a little bit difficult to discern. But no, it wasn't getting through to her in any sexy way. Garvo was fair, but I think still a little disappointed or thrown by his expectations. And Terence Austin, if you re-watch, he talk about waxing lyrical and weaving in sexual innuendo like a boss. That's what he was doing last night. So the Austins tried the sexy wine. I think Terence was hoping that it would make him sexier. I can't. It would be wrong for me to comment on that. If you watched it, what do you think? Did it add to his sex appeal? I mean, to be fair, it's hard to add any further sex appeal to Terence Austin. Let's be honest. But the sexy wine, perhaps not so much. We had the Whitby Cellars giving. Was it for? I can't remember the rating, but they found the Cabridge C brand because they couldn't find the Sexy, and that's a real treasure that they found at €3.5 a bottle. And I plumped for the Conde de Ariolas, the beautiful, and found out more about Ariolas, the Alentejo, northern Alentejo, I think it is, area, and that amazing wine, which is a firm favourite here. Certainly my sexy wine last night, firm favourite of mine. What's this? We've also got a toilet emptying boat. We call him Mr. Pooh. Seriously, poor bloke. I hope he gets paid well. That's incredible, isn't it? Life on the canals. Coal deliveries and someone called Mr. Pooh who empties your toilet for you. Happy times. Oh, let's put this back on the screen. Who remembers these things? I think there's going to be people here who score a full 20. We're just hanging out and chatting before Juan Pablo Sans gets here to talk about his experience of being in Europe, in Spain specifically, as a Venezuelan. Yes, thank you for your early greetings this morning, Jackie. Capricorn, Chris, hola, bon dia, todos. It's cold, train cancelled. So I'm on the Lizzie line, very empty this morning. Bon dia, alegria a todos. Feliz terça-feira. Muito frio. It was distinctly cold yesterday, I have to say. It affects people, doesn't it? I was at the cafe yesterday. Not my usual. My favourite hasn't opened yet. They haven't reopened. On this, hopefully today, the 6th of January, it is Dia dos Reis. It is King's Day, 12th night, of course, today. And you'll find that on the Portugal Club calendar. But -3 in central Portugal where Matty is. That was my hola bon dia to you. And to you, Sarah. And thank you for your greeting this morning. Morning, Team Yerman. I think that just about says hello to everybody so far. If you're tuned in and you've not said hello so far, if you're a lurker, perhaps this is the year you might disclose yourself and step forward. We're a friendly bunch here. Fast to anger, quick to forgive. No, sorry. Yeah, actually, that's probably right. I think the actual saying is slow to anger and quick to forgive. We're probably quick to anger and quick to forgive, or we just forget. Bon dia todos, morning, Carl, from a very cold Crystal Palace. -5. My God, it's cold. Wow. Oh, chilly times. Hot politics, cold weather right now. A few things to share with you then. Oh, good morning to Kevin, who's just joined us over at the Portugal Club. Let's pop over there, shall we? I want to talk to you about Lonnie's reflections on life, a great mentor and role model to us here at the Portugal Club. Oh, yeah, actually, while I was in the cafe yesterday and the pinched faces of the cold locals, there was a sudden flurry. I looked up from my book, my journal, and the book I'm reading, Meet the Tugas, to see that there was a little bit of consternation and anger, actually, a flare-up in the cafe. And it was because two GNR officers were on the other side of the street, and they were taking photographs of cars, probably to give them a ticket a little bit later on, getting their matriculation, their registration plate. And I wondered why. And my car was parked outside as well, thankfully in the right direction, because a reminder here, I think that's what the infraction was. Infraction. In Portugal, you must always park your vehicle facing the same direction as the flow of traffic on the side of the road where you are parked. I did a quick bit of research to prove that that was true. So if you are parking in Portugal, the police don't like it if you're parked in the wrong direction. Guardians of safe driving here in Portugal. Did you see the stats, though, over Christmas? My goodness, carnage on the roads of Portugal. But at least the cars are parked in the right direction. Key rules regarding parking direction. Your car should align with the direction of traffic. Parking against the flow is an offence that can result in a fine. And crossing the road. Incidentally, it is illegal to cross the road, for example, crossing a solid white line to park on the opposite side facing the wrong direction. You must, if you find a space on the other side, you must drive to a legal turning point, like a roundabout, and approach the spot from the right direction. So don't cross white lines. You try saying that. And park in the same direction of the flow of traffic on the side of the road upon which you are parked. Is that clear? I hope so. Mel, I think some drama on the roads. I'm seeing there in the comments as well. While we're here on the picture deck, actually, and before we go to the Portugal Club, here's how it looks for the presidential race. We do live in the age of, that can't possibly happen. And many Portuguese friends were batting down the possibility of a Chega president here in Portugal, obviously in the shape of André Ventura, but he seems to be leading the race at the moment with 21% of the polling. I don't know how reliable these polls are, but those are your front runners at the moment. André Ventura with 21, just over 21%. Luís Marques Mendes, whose name I couldn't remember previously, 20%, nearly 21. Level pegging pretty much with André Ventura. And lagging behind now, Enrique Gouveia Melo, the chap who spearheaded the vaccination campaign here in Portugal, of course, ex-military man. Do we need that sort of stability here in Portugal? A man from the military. He's at 17.5. And Antonio José Seguro at 16. Others in the race include, I see his picture. He looks like a nice chap, if that's how we're deciding who we want as a leader. Cotrin de Figueiredo at 13.5%. Catalina Martins, the only woman in the among the front runners, down to 4%. Antonio Filipe 3%, and Jorge Pinto must be thinking of jacking it in at 2.3%. But André Ventura out front at the moment as we speak. Let's head over to the Portugal Club. Antonio F's sayings this morning, Portuguese sayings of the day, very, very topical and seasonal. Let's bring on the Portugal Club and take a look at the Portuguese citizenship test question this morning. Let me just remove the presidential hopefuls from the screen. Yeah, there we go. And bring the banner back, urging you to sign up at the Portugal Club. And if you want to support what we do here at the Good Morning Portugal Endeavour and Portugal Club, you can use that QR code and see. Well, actually, I think there's if you use the QR code there, it will take you to the club where you can join free, or you can give us a little bit of your hard-earned to help keep the train on the tracks here. Portuguese citizenship test question 89 then. Which river forms part of the border between Portugal and Spain? Is it A, the Minho? If you're looking at the screen, you'll see how I'm voting. Is it B, the Mondego? Is it C, the Sado River then? Portuguese citizenship test question. Which river forms part of the border between Portugal and Spain? Is it the Minho? Look at this, Kate suddenly appears and is voting for the Mondego, and C, the Sado. Good morning to you, Kate. You'll see there on the screen, yeah, we are in Dia de Reis, the King's Day here in Portugal. We put key dates up on the Portugal Club calendar. Welcome to Kevin, who's just joined us over there from Póvoa de Varzim, and any others who might join while we're live on the show. If you do support the show, you will hear the ka-ching jingle as well. That's always exciting when that happens too. Those Portuguese sayings of the day then. Most recent, we've got, let's have a look. There were how many here? 682, nearly 700 comments we're getting on for. Whether January is cold or mild, spend it wrapped up warm. Why would that be? I think it's probably because of the damp, isn't it? And I haven't got my scarf on this morning. I feel naked. The saying previously, Janeiro frio e molhado, enche tulha e farta o gado. Wet and cold January fills the granary and feeds the cattle. Okay. And previously, of course, we shared with you, Jacques Mahomet now vai a montanha ao Mahomet. If Muhammad doesn't go to the mountain will go to Muhammad. Even in Portuguese, right there. For you. So there you go. Let me have a quick look at my virtual post-it note. We've said hi to Kevin. We've looked at sexy wine, and we've done the Portuguese citizenship test. Is it the Minho, the Mondego, or the Sado? Juan will be joining us soon, I hope, on the show. Okay, yeah, he's got the link to do so. Fantastic. Actually, let me just give that to him again to make sure he's joining us in the right place. And I will read to you our friend Lonnie's post. Reflective, philosophical, and poetic. Proper Renaissance man is Lonnie. Just sending Juan the link to join us on the screen, and he'll be with us to chat about his experience as a Venezuelan joining us and living here in Europe. Probably wants to be in his homeland, and the hope to do so is shining brightly for him currently, of course. Right, so let me just take that off the screen and share with you that list that might verify the fact that you are indeed 50 plus as we celebrate 50 plus life here in Portugal. Are there any youngsters joining us, and what's that like to be hanging out with the faint whiff of hot slippers and Werther's Originals warming up in people's pockets? Oh, talking about warming up, if we've got time, I want to go to cordless infrared heating devices as well. That's a bit of a mouthful, isn't it? Warmth your way, say Stove.com. This is definitely one for the old giffers. Experience personal cordless warmth up to 58 degrees centigrade. Warmth reinvented with infrared technology. Have any of you got the faintest idea of what I'm talking about? And do you have one of those? Lonnie, I nearly said Vinny. We haven't seen Vinny for a long time on the show. Lonnie then said yesterday, as this year begins its unfolding, I find myself grateful not just for where I am, but for how many passages it has taken to get here. In reflective mood, with a happy new year, talking about the decades of his life. Any resonance or sympathy here with Lonnie's experience of life? In my first decade, I learned that the world was bigger than my family. Anyone else have that experience? And that curiosity was my first form of courage. In my teens, I learned the struggle of longing for belonging and how painful it can be to lose yourself in the process. In my 20s, I learned how intoxicating possibility is and how easy it is to mistake being busy, successful, or in motion for living a life that actually matters. I think there'll be some resonance there, right? In my 30s, I learned responsibility. Some of us haven't got there yet, Lonnie, not as an obligation, but as authorship. Life was no longer happening to me. It was being shaped by me. In my 40s, I learned that success without alignment is a hollow victory, and that listening, real listening, changes everything. In my 50s, I learned how much strength it takes to soften and how freeing it is to stop proving and start choosing. Stop proving, start choosing. In my 60s, I learned to make peace with time, not by resisting it, by inhabiting it fully. presence and patience became richer than urgency. That's beautiful, isn't it, for anyone in their 60s? And now he says, in my 70s, I'm learning that life isn't asking us to become more impressive. It's inviting us to become more true, more to love more honestly, to forgive more generously, to live life less defended. As we step into a new year, this is Lonnie's New Year greeting. We'll go to Juan in just a moment. I'm not wishing you a better life. I'm wishing you a deeper appreciation for the one you're already living and what it's taken for you to get here. Every decade leaves its fingerprints. Every passage matters. None of it was wasted. May this year meet you exactly where you are, and may you meet it with tenderness, courage, and a growing trust in your own unfolding. There's definitely a resonance here. Thank you, Lonnie, for that. There's definitely a resonance here with my next guest. What a life he must have had. From Venezuela, now in Spain. Let's give him a warm round of applause and welcome him to the screen. Juan, good morning to you. Hola, bom dia. Tudo bem?
Hola,
How's it?
hello, Carl. Thank you very much for taking me here. How's it going for you?
We're having a peaceful morning, as we like to do, celebrating older life here in Portugal. I think you're
Oh,
way under 50. You're an exception that proves the rule here this morning, I think.
lovely Portugal. I went to Lisbon. I was in Lisbon a year ago, more or less. Beautiful
Oh,
city,
right.
beautiful. Pastéis de Belém, love them.
Absolutely. Well said, my friend.
Yeah,
So, friends with Portugal already, and you live in Spain. That's correct, isn't it?
yeah, that's correct. And you know something. I mean, before we start, before we dive into the thing of Venezuela,
Yeah.
A lot of Portuguese went to Venezuela in the 40s, 50s, and 60s, and thanks to them, we have the best bread in Latin America because I don't know. I mean,
Right.
the panaderias, the all the bakery stores, they're all run by Portuguese.
Are they? I knew there was some connection, and it's hard to find a country in the world that hasn't, in some way, been touched by Portugal. That's for sure. But what a lovely legacy for the Portuguese in Venezuela, giving the culture some amazing bread as we enjoy here in Portugal.
Yeah,
Yes, of course.
exactly.
You're from Venezuela. I think Venezuela's in the news at the moment, Juan.
Yeah, a little.
Safe
Not
to
precisely for the bread, but
yes.
I wish I was here to speak about the bread and how amazing Portuguese culture. We could talk about that later,
Oh,
but I mean,
yes.
yeah,
Yeah,
that
absolutely.
that
But
could be
yeah,
another topic that we can talk about.
amazing times for you and other Venezuelans around the world. And I found out just how many Portuguese people there were, sorry, Venezuelan people there were in Portugal yesterday, 35,000. Many of them, as much as they might enjoy being here with the bread and the pastel de natas, they want to be at home ideally. And is it 1 in 4 Venezuelan people are living in exile as expats around the world?
One in
One
three,
in three.
unfortunately.
One in three.
Yeah.
I mean, that's just extraordinary, isn't it? And you came to my attention because you posted this up. Imagine how effed up we are in Venezuela that we're celebrating someone else is bombarding us, which of course happened on Saturday night. And it's easy for, I think what's going on a lot at the moment is people are using, struggles and conflicts in the world as proxies for their political beliefs. And far too many people seem to be just using this as a way of evaluating Donald Trump. There's a much more important matter at stake here, which is the plight of the Venezuelan people. Can we find out a bit more about you and how it is you, as a Venezuelan, got to be here in Europe? What's your backstory, Juan?
Okay. I mean, I was offered a job in Cambridge. I don't have a horrible immigration story like many of my country fellows. I was lucky enough, let's say.
Yeah.
I was offered a job in Cambridge, UK, in 2013. I remember when I was packing my stuff, the day I was leaving, I saw my dad, who he may rest in peace forever. He told me like, I saw he was very sad, and I told him, "Hey, man, hey, Dad, I will be back in 2016 tops because I want to make money, take it back to Venezuela, and buy a house there." And he told
Wow.
me like, my son, but the bad things don't always happen in Palestine on CNN or on Fox News. Sometimes they happen in your country,
Wow.
and this country is very, very bad. So unfortunately, he was absolutely right about that. I mean, I couldn't return. I couldn't fulfill that promise to my dad.
Oh, bless you, bless you. Yeah,
Yeah,
absolutely. May he rest in peace. But what a message to give you. His your optimism and his kind of grounded view on things. So you've been out of
yeah.
the country for some time now.
13 years now this year.
Wow, wow, amazing. And so, I mean, the big question is, what do you make of what's happened? Yeah, it does come to something, doesn't it? When you're celebrating a bombardment, the current leader or the ex-leader, as I guess we can refer to Maduro, has been extradited, kidnapped from Venezuela, which has been met with a vast approval, obviously, from the Venezuelan people, a sign of hope for the future. What do you make of it personally?
Okay, well, let's first put things in perspective because I understand it's very difficult for people to understand.
Yeah, yeah,
Uh,
absolutely.
First of all, I mean, I am not happy that my country was bombarded. I am not happy with the idea that my country will be tutelaged. I am not happy with that maybe in the future my country will be a bounty of war and that it will be divided between, I don't know, Russia, the United States, China, and we might be divided. I don't know. I mean, the future is so uncertain. I'm not happy about that. Nobody can be happy. I mean, we're not masochists. Okay. The thing is that
Right.
Maduro and his dictatorship. Uh, I mean, we fought very, very hard for many years to get rid of him. We voted, we marched,
Mm,
we even tried to do an internal coup against this guy.
yeah,
The guy, I mean, let's say the thing is this: when Chavez died in 2013, he took over the power with a rigged election. He won by 1 point, 50 to 49. Yeah, I know in Portugal or in many countries is that's I mean that's the majority, but in Venezuela, the state has all the power and they use that power to win the election. So I mean the
yeah,
fact that he won by only 1 point with all the threats and all the irregularities around that election, uh, was like, okay, if this had been a fair election, you would have lost. So give up.
yes,
He didn't give
yeah,
up. Instead, he created a state of terror where you had 20K prisoners, where you have a lot of murderers, a lot. I mean, it's a horrible place. Right now, people are not celebrating in Venezuela, not because they don't care, but not because they are not happy. It's because they are terrorized with the idea that hitmen will knock in the door and they will taking away to prison. Actually, yesterday, 30 more people were in prison in Venezuela. I mean, these things are not right now.
no,
So, and 80% of our economy has been destroyed. Now, 1 in 3 people have left their country, and they haven't left because they want to live abroad and they want to go to the U.S. No, they have left because it's a hell of a country
yeah,
for
yeah,
everybody to be living there. My dad passed away in Colombia, for example.
really,
My brothers are away in other countries. I mean, I have nephews. I have nephews I only can see once a year because of that. It's a terrible situation that has divided us and scattered all families all around. That's why, and this mother Fletcher, let's call it that, was always dancing. I was always mocking
yes,
our pain. So of course, when President Donald Trump bombarded our country, we were like, I mean, we were sad, we were concerned that this situation got us into this place, but we were happy to see that Maduro was removed. We were absolutely accelerated. Of course, we're all concerned that what will happen next. But
yeah,
at
right.
least with Maduro, we can see that there might be something else beyond that because we have been living in this situation for 27 years now.
That's extraordinary, isn't it? To have that as your normal. I mean, many of us who come to Portugal are doing so of our own free will, not because of a horrific backstory of this kind. And it's really sobering to hear of your experience and that it's gone on for so long. And this is a bit of hope. But Mel's saying here, and I think this is quite right. Great to see Juan present the nuance many are ignoring. We can be very unhappy at what the USA did and their likely motives, and also happy for the side effect, which will help the people right now. And that's the struggle everyone's got. But it's also in many ways not the point, isn't it? It's like whether or not you like Donald Trump and this is his latest, adventure and a reason to like him or dislike him. We have this incredible situation, this terribly sad situation in Venezuela, as you describe, of decades of suffering of the people. This is I guess a crack has appeared. A wedge has been driven into the stranglehold of power. Something else might happen now. But that is also a big question. What can happen now? And I'd also like to find out from you how you do keep in touch with people back home. How is that working? How are Venezuelan people connecting with each other? How do we find out from Venezuelan people themselves what's going on, rather than having it all presented to us in these awful sort of mainstream media news narratives?
Okay, I mean, first of all, I have family there. I'm not going to say who because
Of course,
it's not safe. It's not safe.
yes,
But I
yeah,
have family and friends there, and we reach out via WhatsApp. But these last 4 days have been very having difficult to actually connect with them because
really.
yeah, I mean, it's not, I mean, you can speak with them, but it's not, I mean, there are problems with the internet. There's problems with the
Oh no,
internet. Now, as to what may happen, I mean, there are two scenarios.
yeah,
What I want to happen and what I think will happen.
okay,
Um Now, what I would like to happen is that Maria Corina Machado, the leader who was elected by 70% of the people in Venezuela,
yeah,
got into the power because she's the legitimate, the real leader in our country. Now, what I think will happen is that we will have a transition led by Delcy Rodriguez. Delcy Rodriguez, the vice president of Maduro. We need to be aware of this. Maduro didn't win the elections in 2024, so he basically robbed them with violence, repression, and so on. So basically, he's not the leader, and Delcy Rodriguez is not the vice president. However, she has the control of the power of the military, of the police. So we need them. We need them for them to stabilize the country before they give up the power. Now the problem I see is that there are going to be internal fights between them.
hmm,
Yeah, actually yesterday night, uh, right before I went to bed, we had information that there were an attack of clones. I thought there was a second wave of attacks. No, I think it was them. I mean, I think it was one of the factions that was trying to take over.
really, okay,
Yeah, exactly. So there, I mean, and I think that's what was going to happen. They're going to fight between them, and I think Donald Trump or the U.S. might need to intervene now for good. Uh, and to put order there because you need to understand this. Venezuela is a oil rich country, of course. I mean, okay,
mhm,
this is something I want to be absolutely clear. We're not stupid. We know that the U.S. I mean, at least people who in the middle class up. Okay, I mean, yeah, because I mean, people who are not so educated might have other ideas, but people who have uh, who have some level of education, we understand that Donald Trump is not doing this for because he loves democracy, he loves freedom, he wants to liberate us, and he's all good. No, I mean, my dad used to say, countries don't have friends, they have interests. Period. Okay, so the
wow,
U.S.
he was such a wise man, your father, wasn't he?
Yeah, he
Amazing,
was. He was.
yeah, yeah,
Okay. I mean, I understand that we have oil, we have rare soils, we have gold, we have silver, and guess what? All these assets are commodities are super hot right now. And aluminum, we have aluminum as well. I mean, we have everything. So, and
yes,
it's 3 hours away from Miami. So so it's strategic for the U.S. to have their neighborhood control, if you know what I mean.
yeah,
So they
absolutely,
cannot allow a government in Syria or in Iraq potentially 3 hours away from Miami. They cannot allow.
yeah,
They cannot let it happen. So I mean, I think in the next few months we will see a tutelage of the U.S. there to run the transition peacefully and to stabilize the country before they give it to their right leaders, which is Maria Corina Machado and Edmundo González Urrutia, who were elected president and vice president in
and
2024.
can I just clarify this then? The vice president at the moment is was Maduro's vice president. So there's many of the people
Yeah,
who form part of his government or leadership of the country are still in position.
yeah. Unfortunately, because again, I think the Donald Trump, Mr. Trump, I mean, and Mr. Rubio, they understood that in order to guarantee stability,
Yeah,
they just need to remove the head of the country and to
yeah,
negotiate with somebody who they could at least communicate, at least have some uh, some level of trust, because this is something that people don't understand, don't see, because why would they? I mean, they just, I mean, most people don't even know where Venezuela is in the map, and that's okay. I am not offended, but that's the reality.
mm,
Maduro, I mean, Maduro used negotiation as a delay tactic. Okay. For example, in 2024, they agreed to hold the elections, and they agreed to recognize they need to concede if they lost. Guess what? They lost 70-30. They didn't. They thought they could delay. They thought they could. And that's why Mr. Trump is always saying, like, the Biden administration, I mean, Maduro mocked Biden administration, which is true. I mean, because
mm.
Biden tried to negotiate, Biden tried to actually speak with Maduro to solve this peacefully. The problem is that Maduro didn't want to live peacefully. I mean, they didn't have any incentive to go away.
Right.
Actually, the day of the election, I am very aware that he was offered a silver bridge to leave the country, with all his gold, on all the things that he has stolen. And we were we were not happy, of course. We're happier now to see him in the jail. Okay, but at that moment we would have accepted for him to live peacefully and to go to Russia or Uzbekistan or whatever the hell he wanted to go,
Yes.
with his seal and so on. And before this attack, he was offering many chances, the opportunity to surrender and leave to another country. The thing is that he was always delaying. He was always using his tactics to mock the U.S. Of course, apparently this is something that people say, and people I read the other day. Apparently, what got Donald Trump to actually attack, to decide to attack, was seeing him dance salsa, because the motherfucker was always dancing salsa to mock
Yes.
his adversaries. So
Yes. I've seen those clips.
when
Yes.
Marco Rubio saw him dance salsa over and over again, he said, "No, yes, this guy's not
You know.
serious. This guy's not going to. This guy trying to mock us and deal and win time, because since the midterm elections are coming in the U.S., the Chavistas and Maduristas, they think that they can delay until maybe there's a change in the forced correlationships in the Senate and the Congress in the U.S.
Yes. You make an interesting point there, or you mentioned the Chavistas, Chavez's followers from the previous administration, and the Maduristas, who would be the supporters, followers, and people of the government, presumably of Maduro. How big are they in number? I mean, this is what frightens me in a country of that is facing upheaval or times in the world. It's the other people that you might be afraid of, isn't it? Your fellow countrymen, as much as you might be fearing a nasty dictatorial leader, because they need their henchmen and they need their team to make it work, don't they? These people don't work alone; they work with the support of your fellow countrymen, and this is a horrible realization for human beings, really. But how big would you say is the base of support for the old dictatorial regimes of Venezuela? What are you up against there as people seeking freedom and democracy?
Okay, that's a very good question, actually. I mean, they lost elections 70-30, but they would have lost 90-10 or 95 to
Okay.
5. I'm
Yeah.
not kidding, because first, many of these people who voted for them they were coerced. They were coerced because the government was basically telling them, like, if you don't vote for us, you are going to be taking away the box of food that we're giving you. So basically, it was like that.
Yeah.
But then they have the hint, the benchmark, the hitmen, their hitmen and the militaries work with them. At least the clique of the militaries, because we know the troop is not with them, but they cannot do anything, because in Venezuela there are like 500 generals in a country in a country that is smaller than in the US. So they diluted the leadership of the military so that they could not coordinate a coup. Basically,
Yeah.
that's why it is.
Yes.
So yeah, we're afraid of people of their hitmen. I mean, it's like in Portugal when Salazar was governing, they had their hitmen trying
Of course. Of
threatening the
course. That's
people
how
and
it
so
works.
on.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the same thing. It's exactly the same thing that happened in Portugal 60 years, 50 years ago, I think, with
Yeah. Over
the
50 years
La
ago.
Revolución de
Absolutely.
Claveles.
Yes, it's recent here. It's in people's psyche as a fairly recent, grandparents remember what that was like, and that has an effect, I think, on the society we have now. It's important, isn't it, that we remember and know what that's like, sadly, because people had to go through that, but it is kind of fresh in the memory where it isn't in other countries who might struggle to understand this. But that's an important part of the change and transformation now for Venezuela, isn't it? Is to have these people not feeling emboldened and powerful, but to have their power base eroded such that the 90% you speak of can own and operate in their country freely.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, we're right now. I mean, we were kidnapped. We are kidnapped still by a few hundred people. That's
Yes,
the truth, yeah.
amazing, isn't it?
More than 30 million people are kidnapped by a family by 100 people who don't want to leave their country. That's the whole situation. It's a hostage situation.
Yes, yes, and how those dynamics can work are just terrifying, really, aren't they? And something as humans you would hope we might be able to figure out at some point. So practically, what can I mean, in this situation, we stand with you as a Venezuelan who wants to go home and be in his own country, and see his country restored to its former glory, where people can live happily. How on earth could us fellow foreigners support you in that? What can we do?
I mean, honestly, I think, I mean, the only thing that you guys can do is to be absolutely clear of what is happening because,
Yeah.
unfortunately, as you say, there's a certain trend by the left who are on the lips in the country. I'm not saying that leftist people are bad. I mean, I have many people, many good friends of mine who are leftists. I am not absolutely rightist. I'm just in the center, maybe a little to the right in the economy part, and left in the social part. I mean, you see,
That's
it's
all,
not.
that's all changed, one, hasn't it? If the Overton window, I think they call it, don't they? So, as a centrist, as a moderate, you are now far right. I'm afraid it would appear.
Yeah, exactly. That's the window of Overton. You know, like
Yeah, yeah,
like you
absolutely.
cannot. Yeah, I mean, because but honestly, what I think people can do is to be absolutely clear of what is happening. Because I know that legacy media in the US, CNN, Al Jazeera, and so on, they're trying to spread that people are against that. No, Venezuelans are very, very happy. The fact is that they are not celebrating in their country is because they are scared
Right, absolutely.
of the
Yes,
government. They are
yes.
super scared. I mean, you need to take this into account. Last time in 2024, when we voted them, and then we tried to protest the results, Maduro launched an attack against their people, where basically neighbors would how would you say that in English? They would basically tell the report authorities on
Yes,
their
yes,
neighbors.
yes. They were
Yeah,
informants. Again, there's a resonance with Portugal. That's how it works, isn't it? Is you're afraid, you don't know who to trust, and what you do might be reported to the authorities, and you find yourself in trouble.
exactly. That's a huge problem. I mean, as long as the new government, the new face of the dictatorship doesn't show real evidence that there's going to be a transition, like for example, release the political prisoners. Uh, yeah, basically release the political prisoners. We have over 1,000 people in prison right now. So as long as you have that, people are not going to show they're not going to demonstrate that they are happy in Venezuela, and that's
Yeah,
why I think that's why yeah. So basically, I think that the only way that people, I mean, the other thing that you guys can do for us is to know what is happening, to be absolutely clear of what is happening, and then you can form your own opinion. Okay, I'm not
yeah, yes,
again, I'm not happy with what happened. I mean, I wanted to solve the problem on my own, but
yes.
at the same time, we did everything that we could. I mean, we absolutely did everything that we could. So it's very sad for us as a country to have Donald Trump or whoever. I mean, I'm not saying Donald Trump, I'm just saying Donald Trump because he's the president right now. But I mean,
Mm.
we're very sad that the U.S. or China or Spain or Portugal intervenes in our country. Nobody likes that. Nobody likes
Yeah.
that, and I don't support it. But the other, I mean, what was the alternative? To live in a dictatorship for until 2080?
Yes,
I mean,
absolutely. No, it's totally. People do. I think people do understand that. The other thing that's in the news that I don't know if I can check this with you to find out. From a first person perspective, one of the kind of Trump propaganda points, if you like, is that we can't have the Chinese, Russians, and Iranians operating in Venezuela. Is that true? Is the presence of those countries significant, and is that an honest and real reason why Trump has taken the action he has?
yeah, absolutely.
Is it right?
Yeah, I mean, Chavez, when he arrived to power, when he arrived into power, he expelled the DEA, and then he started to change. Okay, let's start. Historically, Venezuela was the number one partner of the U.S. in South America.
Right.
Okay,
Yes.
you need to understand something. When the whole subcontinent was full of guerrillas, leftist governments, dictatorships, of course, many of them imposed by the US. I mean, we're not going to be I mean, Pinochet was a US guy, Videla
Yes.
was
Yeah.
a US guy. I mean, we know that, but
Yeah.
we were the only democracy there, and we were
Yes.
always a reliable partner in the relationship, because in the night 100 years ago, Venezuela was a poor agrarian country until we discovered the oil. But guess what?
Mm.
We didn't have any idea on how to tap it. So of course the US came to our country, and they helped us develop the country. That's why we're so happy. We were so happy with them. Actually, in the 1940s, 50s, and 60s and 70s, Venezuela was so prosperous that we attracted Portuguese, Spanish, Argentinians, Uruguayans, and a lot of immigrants came to our country because it was
Yeah.
such an amazing country for us, for everybody.
Yes. Yes.
So the relationship with the US was always special for us until Chavez arrived. Chavez basically tried to freeze, and he didn't do it. I mean, that's part of the rhetoric. He never stopped selling oil to the US, but he diversified. Let's call it that. He started to sell
Right.
to China, to Russia. China and Russia got into the country to help to aid the government. Yeah, right. Absolutely. Okay.
Yeah.
And actually, in Isla Margarita right now, Isla Margarita is taken by Russians right now.
Right.
It's taken by Hezbollah as well. There are rumors that the Hezbollah is there. So I mean, imagine how dangerous it is. And
Yeah.
Iranians were tapping into our uranium before Trump took care of them in last year.
Yes.
They were taking they were tapping into the uranium, because again, Venezuela has uranium as well. So
Yes. Wow, how extraordinary. So that's a real threat as well, the
yeah,
how Venezuela is being carved up by foreign interests. So obviously you need to get strong in your own right and be able to work with whoever you want to work with as foreign partners rather than be dominated or undermined by them. What is the process going to be like? I mean, sadly, this is the way the news works, isn't it? There'll be another drama and the focus will be taken elsewhere.
yeah.
Meanwhile, Venezuela has a long and steady process of rebuilding to happen. How do you see that? What do you see as the steps and your most positive hopes for your country?
I mean, as I said, the most positive hope I have is that the transition is peacefully and organized. Now, what I think is going to happen is that they're going to kill between them, and the U.S. will need to intervene more. Unfortunately,
Right.
that's the foreseeable scenario, because they're not.
Yeah.
I mean, these guys are criminals. These guys are like Pablo Escobar governing a country, more
Mm,
or less. It's the same scenario. It's like if Pablo Escobar or any narco was ruling a country. So of course
yeah.
they don't want to release the power.
Mm,
So unfortunately, I don't see a peaceful transition right now in Venezuela. I think
Really?
the U.S. will need to get into this and put order there. And I know if you have if you have people from America listening to this right now, I know that many of them hate the fact that the U.S. is the police of the world. It's not.
Yeah.
It shouldn't be like that. But the fact is that what makes their country great is precisely that they are the police of the world. So
Right.
yeah, I mean,
I agree.
I'm not happy. I'm not happy for that because I'm Venezuelan, but I think that's what they stand for. And the Monroe Doctrine basically says that the Americas for the Americas. So yeah, you need to take
And
care of that.
it's been recently reclassified as the Donroe Doctrine, I think,
Yeah, exactly.
by, by the current administration. Do you think the Americans do understand what they're letting themselves in for? Because this is a pattern, isn't it, that we've seen the American governments over many decades intervening in other countries. This whole idea of exporting democracy, and American geologists often wear camouflage when they're exploring a country. Do they know what they're letting themselves in for, Juan? Do you think?
I I would like to think they do. I would like to
Right.
think they do. And the thing is that in the case of Venezuela, they didn't have much choice right now because I mean, what Trump is saying, although I think he's exaggerating. What Trump is saying is true as well. I mean, Maduro was the head of the cartel. Now there are two more people who are the head of the cartel. They were using migration as a weapon. They were using the migration that was going to the U.S. as a weapon. Right now, they have a very dangerous gang called the Tren de Aragua that is basically
Mhm.
killing people in the U.S. and they're exporting drugs as well. So they
Really?
didn't have like a real option there. I really hope this is more like Panama or like Dominican Republic or like other success stories in the continent and not like Syria or Iran and so on. I think it will be more like Dominican Republic, um, Panama, because Venezuela is not a divided country. Like I mean, because we need to take this into account. Syria, Iraq, they are countries that were recently formed, and they were united by Gaddafi and Saddam Hussein or
Yeah.
whoever on the Taliban's, and where when these people were removed, they didn't have a I mean they didn't have a glue to be together because
That's
they hated
really
each
interesting.
other.
Yes, that's interesting. So you don't have tribal conflict tearing up your own country. There's a willingness for people to work together if the conditions would allow.
Exactly.
Yeah.
We don't have tribal fights and these horrible things and religious problems right now. I mean, we are
Mm.
all Catholic. We're a Western country. We're Catholic, um, and we're a nation. We're having a nation for 200 years now.
Yeah.
So I mean, it's not like these countries in Africa that were created 50, 60 years ago. We
Right.
are a very solid nation. We already had our period of civil wars in the 19th century. Right now, we were a peaceful country. So a disorganized but peaceful country.
Well, I do wish you the best. Thank you, Juan,
Thank
for,
you
for
very much.
joining us. It's been so good to find out. I mean, it's a horrible situation, but thank you for bringing some light and insight into what's going on in your country. And obviously, we wish you all the best. And maybe you'll come back and talk to us about the progress. Yeah, just wish you well with that. And thank you very much for being here this morning.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Carl. I really appreciate your invitation here. Thank you, and
Not
thank
at
you guys
all.
for listening to this Venezuelan.
Okay, all right. Well, yeah, lots of love to you and all the best to you and your family and friends in Venezuela, my friend. All the best. Ciao for now.
Bye bye. Ciao, ciao.
All right. Bye bye. Bye bye. It seems wrong to have a rapturous round of applause, but there's Juan. Yeah, absolutely. Lovely to hear from Juan. We've got a few comments to take a look at and a few leftovers from earlier things that we were talking about on the show. Good luck to you and your family. Stay safe. To João Mendonça, he has just restarted his need for green. That's right. As soon as we were getting to grips with the kidnapping of Maduro and Trump's and his administration's plans in and for Venezuela. It's definitely a policy, isn't it? It's the flood the channel. Is that what it's called? Just keep going with things that keep people reeling at the moment. So yeah, Greenland and how that is for Europe and NATO is it's just extraordinary at the moment, isn't it? Joao Mendonça, good to see you here this morning. Once Trump is done with Maduro, send him to Putin so he can be with Assad. I'm thinking the other South American countries are looking over their shoulder. I don't think Trump is finished yet. I think isn't everyone looking over their shoulder? You just, we're in those times. It's like that can't happen, can it? We have to stop saying that, really, don't we? We are, since 2020, it's like, well, that can't happen, that won't happen. Oh, there you go. Exactly, many things in play. We were at a restaurant. Hi, Bob. In Viana de Castelo yesterday, and the owner is Venezuelan and overjoyed that Maduro is out. And Joao saying Maduro is just as nasty as Assad. I've been hearing from Venezuelans who are back home to Madeira, thanking God they made it back. Unfortunately, many thousands died or disappeared. Incredible, isn't it? The Venezuelan, I had no idea, to my embarrassment, about the Venezuelan diaspora. Over 20 years, people spread all around the country. 1 in 3 people leaving a country. I mean, that's going to take some rebuilding as well, isn't it? Good morning from Gemini there. Great to see Juan present the nuance many are ignoring. We can but try, Mel. I imagine Venezuelans are going to Curacao, as it is not far away and part of the Dutch kingdom as well. You can't talk about the best bread when Germans are around. Go visit Germany and you will adjust your scale. You keep your pumpernickel, Matty. Your Schwarzbrot is different. I got 25 years experience of being 30. Yes, well done. Back to some of the earlier points then. Before Christmas, I pulled a trapped old lady out of the back of a car involved in a car crash here. Be careful out there. Andre Ventura, another Keir Starmer. Really? That's an interesting analysis there. And Matty would vote for Ace Ventura. Is that your nickname for Andre Ventura, or you'd actually like to see Ace Ventura running the country? Well, not running the country, but being the president of Portugal. Yes, Carl, priorities. Accident included petrol, oil all over the road on a blind curve. Nope, they did not put down sand grit to clean it up. Oh my goodness. And Andairo is here with us, of course. Hola, bon dia, Malta, out for a New Year's cycle with the gang along the coast this morning. How lovely. Yesterday, I stopped to help a woman in a car accident, stood on the windy off-ramp of the highway for 30 minutes, inadequately dressed, frozen through, still defrosting. Oh my goodness. You have to prepare yourself for driving here in Portugal, and it looks like helping others as well, as you great gumpers have done, you, Andero and Mel. I mean, it's worthwhile, isn't it, keeping blankets and other such things, including possibly infrared warming devices. I'm not sure I have time to talk about that. Dan, good morning to you. Thank you so much, Juan. We wish you the best. It's important, isn't it? I mean, this idea of nothing about us without us. Let's, as much as we can, with all of the crazy stuff going on in the world, talk to people about their personal experience. All of this stuff, it just gets, what do? We project, don't we? We use these things as a proxy for our own unhealed difficulties and our political views, which are often to do, I think, with unhealed traumatic events and projections. So let's keep talking to people who are affected. And the crazy thing is there will be Venezuelan Maduro supporters. That's an uncomfortable thing, isn't it? There could well be, I could invite Venezuelans to speak, and there may be a Maduro supporters who want to say it was the best thing that ever happened. Bring him back. This is all part of the human conversation, is it not? And us trying to understand each other. Very important that we keep building our own communities, supporting each other, holding positive energy in practical real ways. Keep calm and focused on real life. Trump ain't stopping second time round. Imagine having Trump Tower going up in Riyadh. You seem very locked on to his activities there, Joel. Good to see you. this morning. Just very briefly, and this is a very uncomfortable pivot, but I think this is quite important. You know, back to a very personal situation and how flipping cold it is here in Portugal at the moment, and the importance of keeping warm, especially if you've been standing on an off ramp for 30 minutes. How do I get rid of that? Oh, okay. Just wanted to let you know, if you're the sort of person who buys an old rubber, you're wondering what I'm going to say, right? An old rubber hot water bottle from the Chinese shop and is constantly boiling your kettle and being charged a lot for the aforesaid pleasure of boiling and luxury of boiling your kettle and filling it with hot water, worrying that it might explode if you roll onto it during the night or sit back on it a little bit too heavily. How about these? I like the idea of these. Warmth your way, they say. And I don't like how they have pop-ups all the blooming time on their website. But, here we go. Again, here we go. I just want to see and share with you these beautiful fabrics and finishes of what are infrared. You plug these in. This technology says personal warmth redefined. We warm people, not the planet. Infrared technology heats up to 58 degrees centigrade. A cordless comfort for 14 hours. I think you just charge it out with USB-C, like so many things these days. Sustainably built to last. And there's definitely some Scandinavian styling going on. I have looked at the backstory and it's great. But look at these. They're not cheap. But in the long run, I think they're very good. They're very well made. They're very beautiful things to have, aren't they? And they do heated cushions, heated blankets, so you can drape yourself in an infrared. And I do like infrared technology. I've had a run-in with that previously. Chair warmers, you can look at that. You can warm your hemorrhoids up and your back, your lower back pain there. And you can have something that looks like a hot water bottle as well, old school. Isn't that lovely? Beautiful finishes. That's stuve.com. I'll put the link to their website. Let me know if you've got one of those or get one of those. I think I need to get one for Mrs. M. And then probably like some of the things I do buy for her, end up using it myself. But there you go. There's a serving suggestion. Next time you put on a face mask and do your nails, you can be cuddling or you can be sitting in a pile of infrared heated hot water bottles. And they're a certified B Corp as well. We warm the people, not the planet, say stuve.com. Nice product and a nice idea for damp, cold Portugal and anywhere else where it's a bit cool at the moment. So that's going into the chat there. Stuve.com, everybody. Yes, Carl, have conversations. Yes, it's very old-fashioned, right? And listen to others, listen to understand, not to argue. Absolutely, mate. Good morning to you. Spare kettle full, stick it on top of log burner. Oh, free heating. That's a good way to do it, isn't it? Look at the hit bedstones too, guys. What? Hot bedstones. Okay. Oh, that sounds very old-fashioned as well. It's like having a hot stone massage, probably, isn't it? Not great, as I recall, when you've got hairy legs. Remember, Carl, just like Maggie, I am a Trump supporter as well, says João. Okay. Thanks again to Juan. What an amazing conversation. We'll be talking to Roxy, another Venezuelan who's living here in Portugal, about how it is for her personally and what her hopes are as well. So enjoy the rest of your day. I'm off to record the next big interview for the Portugal resident, and I'm going to be talking to quite a character by the name of Eric, who is one of the characters in the Algarve, who's involved in some very interesting, exciting projects. Looking forward to chatting to him, and you'll be able to see that on the Expats, on the Portugal, Expats Portugal. That'll be cranking up as well. The big Expats Portugal machine cranking up for Thursday, and the Resident podcast available tomorrow afternoon at 3. Have a great day. Take care and bye for now. Ciao, ciao, my friends.
In Portugal, there's a YouTube show